This is one of those moments, I think, in our life experience where we'll look back on it and you realize, wow, that was a moment, where you were surrounded by greatness. And I think about Reverend Lowery and the legacy that he continues to live, to lead, and to lead. It is so significant. And so for each of you to be here tonight and to be a part of the change agent movement and to do all that you do is a tremendous sacrifice. And so give yourselves a hand clap. Awesome. So, what we're going to talk about is the Divergent Edge. And so I need 5 volunteers just to help me out real quick, to come up and help me out. Come on up. Yep. Just 5. Just 5. All right. So as you come up, we're going to give you a string. And if you will go to the end of that string set. Yep. All right. Let's see. Actually, 4. Let me see. One more. Yep. Okay. So go to the end of whatever end of that string you want to go to. All right. So here's a definition of divergent. We can just read that out loud on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Moving or extending in different directions from a common point.
All right. So there's this common point, right? And so divergent means that you start at a common point and then you extend out and you go separate directions, separate ways. And so that's what we call a divergent line. And in physics and math, some of y'all know that far better than I'll ever know it, and you get it. And so just in an analogy of it, it's a line that goes in separate different directions, but it starts from a common point. All right, so bring me the ends that you have and we'll create this as a common point. All right, thank you. Now take the other end of yours, but stay close to me. Yep. All right, stay close to me. Yep, stay right, yep, stay close to me. All right. Grab the other end. Okay. Y'all come on in close to me. All right. So where's the common point?
You.
All right. We are a common point. So now let's make a divergent line. So wherever you want to go, you can go, but don't go so hard or fast that it rips this out. All right. So 1, 2, 3. All right. Pause right there. There it is. So look at this illustration. So you have these individuals. We started where? At a common point. Is that right? Where was the common point?
You.
And then where are they now? Are they wrong? It is where they chose to go. So when we think about the divergent edge, in particular of servant leadership, it is extending out beyond where you started. And so where you are right now is a great starting point in life. And many of you are already extending out. And that's why I had you to talk about your dreams. So this is essentially what your dreams should look like. Come on, let's come on in a little bit closer. So each of you shared your dreams, and the very nature of achieving something means that it forces you in a direction. And what hurts a lot is it forces you in directions away from the common places that you know and the common people that you know. And that's not always easy. But if you're going to achieve anything, you must be willing to face isolation. You must be willing to face loneliness. You must be willing to face misunderstanding. And sometimes it seems as if you're just orbiting by yourself in the middle of nowhere. All right, so on the count of 3, you go to your space. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's give them a hand. Good stuff. Thank y'all. So let's read this definition out loud one more time. 1, 2, 3.
Moving or extending in different directions from a common point.
So when we think of a physics illustration of this, it looks like this illustration or graph that you see here. So there's this common point where the lines started, but they flare out. It creates this ray out, and so ultimately it becomes a group of divergent lines. So the whole conversation is around servant leadership. And of course, we all know what leadership is, but servant leadership is on a whole nother level. Here's one definition that is in front of you on your paper, but servant leadership, as defined by Robert Greenleaf Center for Servant Leadership, says, servant leadership is a philosophy and set of practices that enriches the lives of individuals, builds better organizations, and ultimately creates a more just and caring world. What was so amazing about hearing your goals and your dreams is it wasn't only about you. It wasn't about amassing things for you or building things just for you. It was about criminal justice system. It was about changing the world. It was about environment. And so that is an example of what it means to be a servant leader. And I know the experiences that you had here at the Lowery Institute is helping you to evolve what it looks like for you to be a servant leader. And for you to be a servant leader and for you to be a servant leader, it's not the same. But it is a process that you've got to go through as you go these divergent lines to where one day you look up and say, wow, I have a career, I have a profession, I have a degree, but more than any of that, I'm really a servant leader. But you got to be willing to go the journey to achieve it and to become that leader that you know you can be, which is a servant leader. Now, what do I have here in the chair? What is this?
Box.
Now, boxes are dangerous and boxes are also an asset. They're an asset because they're used for different things. So if you look at the paper here, what are some of the purposes of a box? What is that? Store.
Warehouse. Ship, contain, protect, keep, and restrict.
Now, to UPS, this represents revenue. All right? And so I work for UPS and I see how they make revenue, and it is an amazing thing that they do to load everything on and get it around the world. So there are some cases where the box can be an asset. But if you look at a box philosophy, it can also be a danger. Have you ever heard somebody say, we've never done it this way before? Have you ever had this wonderful dream or this wonderful vision and someone maybe who was your mentor or someone who was a leader in your life said, you know what, I wouldn't try to dream that much. I wouldn't try to do what you're talking about doing because nobody in your family has ever gotten a what? PH? Yeah. And so what happens when you have this dream and it takes you on a divergent line, but you get stuck in a what? And what is so amazing, in particular about the generations of individuals who are here in this room, is how many possibilities are stuck inside of boxes. And you know what is so amazing about your generation? May I use that? Won't steal it. Sure. Is you have more technology than any other generation in all of humanity. Now, Google a couple of years ago said that searches on the web are now done more on a smartphone than they are on a desktop. Now, that stat just happened. So there are more people who are connecting with the world here versus on a desktop. And what is so amazing is that your generation can connect to the world instantly, but as I talk to individuals in your generation, you're stuck sometimes. You're stuck by whatever the trend is, you're stuck by whatever the style is, you're stuck by whatever is said on social media. And it's so amazing how much potential individuals like you and outside of this room have, but oftentimes it's on the inside of a box. So let's look at this question. When we think about boxes, can you name and illustrate the boxes in your life right now? Now you don't have to be too personal, but just take a second. Think about what are the boxes right now that are in your life that as you get started going on your line towards your dream or your vision, you get stuck. Think about it. Take a couple of seconds. What are some of the boxes right now in your life? You can't say you're a professor. What are some of the boxes right now? Hold on. What's a box in your life right now?
I feel like a lot of fear is a box.
Fear. Good stuff. Let's give him a hand. I'm going to come back to you right here. I saw another hand back here. What's another box? Yes?
To me, sleep is a box.
Sleep, meaning getting sleep or not having it?
Getting sleep. Like, you might have a test in the morning and you just, being tired just force you to go to sleep and you got that sleep on that test.
All right, so sleep, it's a box. All right, someone else right here.
I would say my family is a box.
Family, okay. All right, someone else.
I said temptation.
Temptation, box. Good stuff. Anybody? Right here.
Money.
Money can be a box. All right.
Lack of experience or too much experience.
Lack of experience or too much experience. Excellent. Yes.
A degree.
A degree, having it or not having it.
Well, some people believe that if you don't have it, then you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
But that's not the case. A lot of us can do whatever we want to do without a degree. So being in the mindset that we need a degree to achieve our dreams, that's about.
Awesome. We'll get one more box. Yes.
Grace.
All right. Race. Give yourselves a hand. So, I want to talk about a box, not only philosophy, and we heard that it means we've never done it this way before. We've talked about some of the purposes of boxes, But let's unpack our boxes. And the first way we want to unpack it is to talk about a divergent out of the box principle. So when we think about being a divergent line, it means we're going outside, we're stepping outside of the norm, we're leaving that commonplace. But what does it mean to be a divergent out of the box principle or principles? Now, one of them is, if you'll look right underneath the bolded, what is that word that starts with a D?
Differentiation.
All right, who knows what differentiation is? All right, determine between. Good stuff. All right. All right. No, go ahead. Differentiation. Any other examples?